Good. So, hi everyone. Once again, my name is Damilare. You can call me Marvelous. As you can see, can everybody see the screen? Hello, I want someone to talk. Can you hear me and can you see the screen? And it's clear. Good. So, let's proceed. So, Excel training for beginners. Who are the beginners? People who are using Excel either for the first time or they are new to the use of Excel. They are not that proficient, or you are able to, maybe you are in the office, they gave you one thing to do. So they are the people I'm referring to. And if you have been using Excel but you don't know or you don't have the rudiment details of it, you are also the one I'm referring to. So let's begin. So what are the overviews of our training today? The first thing we are going to learn is introduction. Introduction to Excel, activities, Excel activities, cell basics, formula, sorting and filtering of data. We'll learn we are going to work with both workbook and worksheets, charts, finishing and protecting workbook, then printing. That is what we are going to learn. That is the beginner section of Excel. We have advanced also, and we also have data analysis. For anyone who wishes to continue in that, that's a different package entirely. So let's start. Today is day one. What are we going to learn today? The first thing is introduction to Excel. Now, how do we introduce ourselves to Excel? First thing, what is Microsoft Excel? Don't forget, Excel is not the only spreadsheet application we have. We have other spreadsheet applications. We have Google Docs, Google spreadsheets. We also have other applications too that are spreadsheets, but Microsoft Excel is the most popular. Now, what is Excel? Excel is a spreadsheet application used to create, list, perform calculation, and analyze numbers, or you can call it data. Now, Excel can be used in business, in economics, accounting, transaction. You can use it for manpower and various activities. So this is an Excel window. How many of you have Excel open as we speak? Can you signify if you have Excel open? Hello? Can someone signify? Okay, if you don't have Excel open, this is a worksheet. This is an Excel workbook open currently on my own screen. Now, the version that you have may not be the same as my own version. This is the latest version, but there is only little difference between the older version and the newer version. The purpose of the Excel is that any version that you have, you should be able to work with it properly. So going back to where we are, Excel window. Now, this is Excel window. You can see each part has been labeled. We have the title bar, the formula bar, menu bar, toolbar, name box, worksheet, row heading, navigation buttons, sheet tabs, column heading, and cell. We have the scroll bar, workbook, and ribbon. Now, from 2003 to 2007, our Excel application usually have the title bar, menu bar, and toolbar. But from 2010 upward, it is compressed to what we call ribbon. If you look at my cursor to your right hand side, you will see I am hovering over ribbon. Now, the ribbon is what comprises of the menu bar and the toolbar. What are the menu bar? Menu bar contains the menu that you need, like the file, your home, your insert. Those are your menu bar. Your toolbar are the tools that you use in your daily activities. So don't bother if this is slightly different from the one you have. They are all the same. You have the name box. Name box shows the address of a particular cell that you are working with. You have the formula bar. The formula bar in your active cell, whatever you are entering your active cell is shown in the formula bar. Then you have your title bar. Your title bar shows the title of the cell that you are having. Then your worksheet. The worksheet is the area with which you work. Then you have the row heading, the navigation button, and your scroll bar. Let's go to the definition. Then the sheet tab, defining each your workbook. So according to Excel, workbook is a spreadsheet application created by Excel. Like it's a unique file created by Excel. Then your worksheet. So a worksheet is a grid of cells consisting of rows and columns. As we've seen earlier, let's go back to what we were doing earlier. This is your worksheet. So this is your row. This is your column. So at this junction, this is your cell. So the grid of cells that you have is what make up your worksheet. Let's go back to our class. Then you have your title bar. Title bar display both the name of the application and the spreadsheet. Then your menu bar display all the menus in use in Excel or your application. Don't forget, whatever you have in your Microsoft Excel also exists in Microsoft Word. Only few difference depending on the unique application that is used by each. Then your formula bar. Formula bar displays the information you entered as you type in the current or active cell. Then your cell. Cell is an intersection of rows and column, and it has a unique cell address. Let's quickly go over. If I pick this from the column header and I pick this from the row header, this intersection here is where you have your cell. Where you have your cell. That is the active cell. So where you have this is your active cell. You can see the grid. So that is your active cell. Active cell is actually thicker or darker than every other cell that you have. So that will show whatever you are typing. If I type, maybe I type name, for instance, you find out that the name I type is typed in the active cell and it appears in the formula bar. As you can see, this is the name box. It shows the name, the address of this cell I'm using. How do you know the address of the cell? The row, the column header, combination of the column header and the row header give us the active cell, which is this. Here you have your is MC. So the address of this particular cell is MC. It shows in the name box. So this is your formula bar. As you can see, the title bar is up. Then these are worksheets. So let's go back. Now you have the navigation button. Allow you to move between one sheet and the other. Let's go back. So this is our navigation button. As you can see, it will take you right or left depending on the type of sheet that you have. Currently, I have a blank sheet currently. So let's go back. So you have your sheet tab. This is your sheet tab. This is your sheet tab. As you can see, you can add more sheets by clicking on the tab. So this is your sheet tab. You can add more sheets, as many as possible. That's why it is called a workbook. Now, picture Excel workbook as a notebook. Now, each sheet tab represents a particular sheet in your book. So as you open each sheet, depending on your unique data that is there, and each sheet is independent of another sheet, you can group sheets together. When we get there, we'll learn more about that. So let's go back. So what is a workbook? Workbook automatically shows in a workspace. Now, if you open your Microsoft Excel, the first thing that first blank worksheet that you see is a workbook, and it's going to be blank. So the next, each workbook contains at least one worksheet. Now, for those of you that have older version of workbook of Excel, maybe 2003, 2007, 2005, 2010, no, not 2010, yeah, 2010, downward, it shows 3. But from 2013 upward, up till 2019, 365, if you open a blank worksheet, it automatically give you just one workbook, just one worksheet. Then from there, you can increase just as I did earlier. Going further, what's a worksheet? A worksheet now is a grid of cells which consists of rows and column. Going further, a worksheet receives spreadsheet information like text, number, formulas. So a worksheet is represented by sheet tab. As you can see, you will see sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, as many as possible. Now, I want to give an assignment. So, anyone that gets it, we collect a prize. So, find out how many worksheets can an Excel workbook contains. So, in our tomorrow's class, I need an answer. So, that's an assignment, first assignment. So, a worksheet tab appears at the bottom of the Excel window. Now, let's go back. Now, look at this, is a sheet tab. It appears here, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. That's a sheet tab. So it appears, let's go back, a cell. Now, if you look at the right hand, I already did a demo of a cell here. So the intersection of a row and column gives your particular cell. Now, each cell has a unique cell address composed of composed of a cell's column and a row header. Let's go back and find out. Now, this is a column header. This is a row header. So to know the address of a particular cell, combination of a row header and so you get here in the name box to find the address of a particular cell in the name box, as you can see here. So let's go back. Then the active cell is the one that receives your data and is the one that is the content of an active cell that is shown in the formula bar. And what is cell pointer? A cell pointer is the darkened border around an active cell. This is a cell pointer. So I can decide to move it side. As I'm moving it, pay attention to the name box. You will see that the address keeps changing. You understand? So that is it. The address keeps changing as I move the cell pointer. And the cell pointer also tells us that this is the active cell. So let's continue. Now, content of a cell. What are the contents of a cell? Firstly, you need to understand that cells are the basic building blocks of an Excel worksheet. So, cell accept varieties of input, such as firstly text, formatting attributes, formulas, and function. Don't forget, there is a difference between formula and a function. Now, before we get there, let me quickly give you a difference right now. Formula is when you do basic mathematical operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication. You understand? Division. Those are formulas. Function is when you do something like sum, average, difference. All those are the functions. When we get there, we'll learn better when we get to that section. Now, to work with a cell, you will need to know how to select a cell, insert content in a cell, delete cell content, and also delete cells. So you need to understand that. Let's continue. So what are the content of a cell now? The content is, we have text. Text, such as your letters, your ABC, your number, dates, and so on. Formatting attributes. Now, how you format your attributes, like the changes in the way your letters appear, your numbers, your dates, how they are displayed. That is formatting attributes. We are going to get there. So we don't need to delay further. Connect my Wi-Fi. Then you can insert comment too. You understand? Maybe from multiple people that are reviewing. If like in an organization and there is a workbook that is reviewed by multiple people, so each person can review it and put his own comments. Understand? When we get there, we find out. I don't think that is part of the scope of this class, but if it's part of it, then formulas and function. It helps to calculate values, data. Now, navigating worksheets. How do we navigate through worksheets? You can move around a spreadsheet in several different ways. The first one is through the move of cell pointer. How do we do that? Through our arrow key on our keyboard. Your left, right, up, and down. Let's quickly practicalize that. This is our cell pointer. If I want to move the cell, I can decide to move it up. I can decide to move it down, right, or left. Are we connected? Connected? Infinix S5. Wi-Fi. Okay, connect. Good. So let's continue. The second part, navigating through your worksheets. The second part. Oh, sorry, somebody says he's having difficulty signing in with the link. Okay, if you're having. So the second one is using the scrolling through the worksheet with the help of our scroll bar. Now we have vertical, horizontal scroll bar. Then we also have page up and page down key. We're going to practicalize it now. Oh yeah, connect now. I've increased it now. So now let's do scroll bar. Don't forget your scroll bar is at your right hand side. Okay, somebody wants to enter. Let's admit somebody in right now. Somebody is trying to enter. Let's admit in someone right now. Sorry for the break in transmission, the network disruption. So now we're talking about scroll bar. We have vertical scroll bar, horizontal scroll bar. We have page up, page down. Then we have the home key. Now know the difference between these. Know the difference between these keys that I just mentioned earlier. Now let's practicalize it. I choose. Hello, can you see my screen? Oh, nobody can see my screen. Oh shit. Okay, let me share the screen once again. Sorry about that. Let me share the screen. Okay, sorry for the delay. Now, for the sake of those that are not joining, let's go back and the cell contents. We're talking about the Excel window for the sake of those that are just joining. Now, this is, if you open an Excel window, this is what you're going to see. Now, your formula bar is here, your title bar is here. This is your workbook. You have your ribbon. Now, like as I said earlier, 2007, 2005, 2003 version have what we call they don't have ribbon, but they have menu bar and toolbar. But from 2010 upward, Microsoft introduced what we call ribbon to comprise of both toolbar and menu bar together, which is what you have here. So you have your name box, you have your formula bar, the column heading, you have the row heading, your active cell, you have the navigation button, your sheet tabs, and your scroll bar. Let's quickly run down through the Excel. Let's run down. We have the workbook. Your workbook is the unique file that is created by Excel. Then you have your worksheet. Is a grid of cells which consists of rows and columns. That's your worksheet. Your title bar. The title bar displays the name of the application and the name you use to save your file. Then you have your menu bar, which display all the menus available for use in Excel. Then you have your formula bar, display information you entered in your current or active cell. Then you have your cell. Cell is called or defined as the intersection of rows and column. Each cell has a unique cell address. Now, let's quickly look at that. Your unique cell address. Now, here's your unique cell address. Look towards your left-hand side. Can you see my cursor is hovering over the name box? You will see what is called G6. G6 is that the active cell is a combination of the column header and the row header give the address of the active cell. And whatever you type in the active cell automatically appears in the formula bar. Now let me type something. Let me type name. It appears in the active cell. So if I move on to another cell, you will see, let's say I want to type a football club. I typed Arsenal. Arsenal as a football club. You can see as I'm typing Arsenal is appearing in the formula bar. So you can see. So let's go back to our class. Then you have your navigation button. That is what helps you to move between one worksheet and another. Let me show you from here. Your navigation button is here. This is a navigation button. Is here. It's active if you have multiple worksheet menu. It can help you to move between worksheet and another. Is here, and this is your sheet tab. As you can see, that's your sheet tab. So let's continue. Now, what is a workbook? A workbook automatically shows in the workspace when you open Excel. That is, if you are opening afresh, you see a blank workbook. Then let's continue. Each workbook contains at least one worksheet. In the older version, from 2010 downward, 2010, 2007, 2005, 2003, you will see 3 worksheets by default. You will see 3 worksheets by default. But from 2013 upward, up till 365, 2019, you will automatically see 1. So from there, you can add as many as you can. Worksheet. Worksheet is a grid of cells which consists of rows and columns. Each cell in a worksheet receives spreadsheet information such as text, number, and formula. And each sheet tab is represented by sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and many further until you change the name of a particular sheet. Let's continue. And sheet tab appears at the bottom of Excel window. Cell. Cell is the intersection of row and column. So each cell has a unique cell that I've already showed you earlier, where you see G6. So the combination of the column heading and the row heading will give the address of a particular cell. Then name box, the cell address of a selected cell appears in the name box. So the active cell is the one that receives your data, and the content of active cell is displayed in the formula bar. Then there's what we call cell pointer. It's a darkened border around the active cell. Now let's go back and check what we just mentioned right now. Now, this is active cell. As you can see, as I'm moving it, you see that the cell is different from others. That is the active cell. And it shows with the help of the cell pointer. Look at it. If you look at it, see the cell pointer as it is here. So let's go back. Okay, sorry, somebody is waiting in the lobby. Let's admit the person before we proceed. Go back, continue. Yeah. So cell pointer is a darkened border around an active cell. It identifies the cell, the active cell. Now, cell content. Cells are the basic building block of a worksheet. The content of a cell can accept text, formatting attributes, formula, and functions. Now, there is a difference between formula and function. Don't mix them together. Formula refers to basic operation like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. While function has a name such as sum, average, total, like that, sum total or summation. So you have something like that. Then, to work with a cell, you need to know how to select a cell, insert content, delete cell content, and that and more. Then, the content of a cell, in continuation of the content of a cell, you have text. What are text? Text refers to letters, numbers, dates. Numbers, dates. Then you have formatting attribute. Formatting attribute helps you to change the way letters appears. Letters, number, and date, how they are displayed. Then comments. Like I said earlier, comments can be received from multiple viewers. Then formula and functions helps you to calculate value. How do we navigate? With the help of our arrow key. On your keyboard, you will see arrow key. Up, down, left, or right. Then, navigating through a worksheet. You can scroll through a worksheet. You have your vertical scroll bar, you have your horizontal scroll bar, you have your page up, page down, and your home key. Now, let's practicalize. Let's practicalize this. This is vertical scroll bar. This is horizontal scroll bar. If I want to use vertical scroll bar, I can just come here and click. You can see it is moving. If it is horizontal you want to use, you can go, it will keep moving. If you want to use page up and page down, just look at page up, page down on your keyboard and click on it. It will take it a page down or one page up. So you can go down, and if you want to use your home key is going to take your document back to the first sheet by your left. Now let me use home key on my keyboard. As you can see, it has taken myself back to A1. That is the use of home key. Now let's continue. If you click on Control Home, like I did earlier, it takes yourself back to cell A1. Then to move between worksheets, you can simply click on the sheet tab. On sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and if you have renamed it, you click on the name you have used to save it. Save it. Then a recap. From what we have, the summary of what we have been learning earlier. So Excel is also known as spreadsheet. Account people will know this better. Then Excel can be used to store, analyze, sort and calculate data. Then your worksheet is a subset of your workbook. Workbook is the main file created by Excel. Then worksheet contains rows and columns. Cell is the intersection of rows and columns. So at this point, let me give you time to ask questions. Any questions from what we've learned so far? If you have a question, simply turn on your mic and ask. Then let's treat it before we proceed further. Is anyone with question? Or any part that is not clear? Let's treat it now before we proceed further. Hello, can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Let's all turn on your mic and ask question before we proceed. Okay, fine. Ask your question if you have any. Okay, now let's continue. We have finished the first topic earlier. Now we just finished. Each day we are going to be having a challenge. Once we are done, I'll package the challenge and I'll send it to you to practice before tomorrow. Now going to the next class, Excel activities. Now what are the activities we do on Excel? Let's continue. The first thing is about file, opening, closing of a file. We have opening a new file, opening existing file, saving a fresh file, and saving updates of an existing file. Now, what are the terms we need to understand? The first term we need to understand is new, open, close, save as, and save. Now, what is the difference between all these things? New means creating a new workbook, which is Control N. Open means to open a file that you already saved in your system, in your flash drive, in your maybe hard drive. Closing means closing a file that you already open. Then save as. Save as will work when you are saving file for the first time. Meaning that if you want to save as, any file that you open and you have never saved before, when you click on Ctrl S or you select save as, it will prompt you to give a name. Then you give a name and the location. Then save means the file has been saved before, but you work on it and you want that changes to be committed. Then you click on Ctrl S. If you did not save, if your file closed suddenly, you will lose that data. So be careful. If you are using a laptop that the battery has run down, is no longer strong, then if anything happens to the light, your system will automatically shut down. But if you are using a desktop and the light goes off, whatever you have saved, it will automatically go off. Let's continue. If I want to open a new file, what do? I can come here, click on file, you will see new. When you click see new, you will see blank worksheet. It will open a blank worksheet for you. You can see a blank worksheet is open. If you want to open an existing file, what do? You click on your file. I can decide to come here and click on an existing, which is this. It will open a file for me, and you will see that I already have a file that is saved here already, which is called book sales. So it's already saved. I can decide to do another thing by, you can use your shortcut. Control N will open a fresh one. Control O will take you to a place. You can browse for the file. It will take you into your system to be able to locate the file and open it. Then so let's go back. Now, as we see, creating a workbook. How do you create a workbook? A blank workbook is displayed when Excel is first open. And no, most of us are already using system. This one is not new to us. Any application whatsoever, the moment you open it, first thing that open is a blank file. Then you can now locate the file that you save, and if it's not saved, you create it. Now, towards my right hand side, you will see that information can be entered directly into a blank workbook that you created. Now, as we see earlier, now choose a new file. What do? You can click on Ctrl N or click on File, and it will take you to where you get a file that you already saved. Now, you can choose a blank workbook under the new category heading. As we saw earlier, I have practicalized it earlier. Then saving. Every workbook created in Excel must be saved. You must save. If you don't save it, whatever you have done, you will lose that detail. And I know some of us, if not all of us, have experienced this in the past. You are working, you have done so much, and suddenly your system just either shut down, or never took light, or your generator went off, or you have not been charging your system and you have exhausted your battery, and suddenly the system just go off. Now, by the time you put on the system, suddenly something happened and you find out that everything you have done for the past 1 hour were not saved. Some people will nearly die. You understand what you know the feeling, what you have been doing, and a lot of us have experienced that in the past. So be in the habit of always saving your work when you are working. So once you assign a name, any additional changes you made to the text, number, or formula need to be saved using the save operation. Now, how do we save? Now, look at my screen. To the right hand side, you will see a save as dialog box opened. For those of you that have saved before, you will see it. You will notice this. You will notice this many times. Now, how do you save? Choose File, Save As from the menu bar. Then click on the Save As. The Save As will appear. You click on Save In. Now, you have many options. You can save in your local hard disk. You can save in your USB. You can save on your desktop, depending on the location. But me, I prefer to save on desktop. It makes looking for file easier. If you just go ahead and save, you will start searching for that file. You may not find it on time, and it might frustrate you searching for a file that you saved maybe yesterday or a week ago and can't find it. But if you save on the desktop, it makes it easier. Now, let's practicalize it now. Now, this is a blank file. We want to save it. What do? If I click on Ctrl S, it gives me Save As dialog box. Or I'll go into the file menu and click Save As. As you can see, my mouse, Save As. Now, don't mind what you are seeing. This, for those of you that are using maybe Microsoft 2016, 2019, 2013, something like this will show up. But for those of you using 2007 below, something like this is going to come up. If you click on Browse here, you will see something like this. When it's something like this, what happens next? You can now, for me, I prefer to save on my desktop. I can start to save on my desktop as I click on desktop. So look at the file. Say maybe let's say we want to save this as practice. Practice. That is what I've saved as. Don't forget, I already chose my location to be desktop. I have saved as. So all I need to do is come here and click on save. So once you save here now, it automatically saves on your desktop, and your file will carry the name practice. If you are with your system currently, you can practice it. And if you are not with it, note sit down. After the class, you practice it so that we can proceed further from here. So, proceeding further. Saving a work. Now, to save changes made, what do you do to save changes made? To just click on Ctrl S, or on your file menu, click on Save. Whatever you have typed automatically saves. Please, I repeat, learn to save as you work. You never can tell. And so, let's continue. Opening a new, just as save, open to happen the same way. Let's practicalize it. So we want to open, let's say, let me close this file now. We want to open what I saved earlier. I can just come here. I can click on Ctrl O. If I click on Ctrl O, it will bring that down, but let's practicalize it. Click on File. Click on Open. You can see I can now browse and look for what I have saved earlier, which is practice. I click on Practice and I click on Open. You see the file I saved earlier has opened. So let's continue. Now, closing a workbook is easy to close. You can easily click either you on your keyboard, just press Alt F4, whatever file you open will close, or practicalize it by opening the Excel. Just come here, click on close, it will close, or come to the right hand side, click on close, it will close. And if you have not saved, it will prompt you to save. Then from there, you can save your documents. Let's proceed further. Now, Excel will prompt you to save information if any has been typed between the last time you save and the time you want to close that file. It will prompt you to save changes. So click on save changes at that point. Now, recap of what we have learned earlier, that the basic activities is creating, opening, saving, and closing of a workbook. So what are the shortcuts? Control N to create new, Control S to save new, Control S also to save changes if you have saved before, Control O to open an existing file or document. Now, this challenge, I'm not going to bother you with this challenge now. I'm going to send it to you as a file after the class. You submit it by tomorrow. Now, let's go to the next topic, cell basics. So now, coming back, what are the cell basics? Cell basic involve various activities carried out on the cell in a worksheet. Don't forget, the building block of a worksheet is a cell. Why worksheet is a subset of a workbook. Please learn to know some of these simple terms. It will help you as you proceed in your activities, your daily activities, office activities, whatever activities you are doing. You are a teacher. So like I said, your daily, what activities do we do in a cell? You insert content. What are the content you insert? Like your text, your number, phone number, number, date, data, anything you can think of, you can enter into your cell activities. Then what are the other things you do? You can modifying the cell. You can the rows, the column, height, width, like that. You can add, you can delete cells. Formatting of cells too is also part of it. So let's continue in it. Let's continue. So inserting and deleting content of a cell. How do you insert? To insert, you click on a cell. Don't forget from what we learned earlier, active cell is only where you are going to insert, meaning that whatever you are going to type can only be typed in the active cell. So you type into the cell, something appear in the formula bar. Now let's quickly practicalize it. Then to delete, I will practicalize it together. Now to delete, select the cell you want to delete. You can delete the content. You can clear using the clear command at the ribbon. Select clear content. On the keyboard, you can click on your backspace as you type. You can delete the content from a single cell, delete content from multiple cells, and so on. Now let's quickly practicalize that. Now let's assume we want to enter details of, we want to collect data. Let's say students. We start by typing serial number, as you make it as SN. Go to the next one. Let's say you type first name. Notice there is a mistake in the first name, and we can decide to delete it. So let's say, okay, instead of choosing first name, put name. So I put their name in full. Maybe date of birth. Then maybe telephone number. So now discover that in the first name there is a mistake and I want to remove it. I can start to come here and click delete on my keyboard. It will go. I can start to click on the column heading, right click, and delete. You can see as I delete, it has shifted it. Or I can decide to do this again by clicking on, right-clicking the cell, click on delete. Now, since we look at this delete dialog box, it showed. You can decide to click on shift left, shift up, entire row or entire column. What do? Click on shift left. It will shift it left by deleting it totally. That is it. And now notice something. While you type, let's say you wanted to type somebody's name. You want to type maybe BC, and you made a mistake in wrongly typing. You've added S in the name, and you want to click it. Look at this. Look at this. You can click on cancel from here. It automatically clears it for you. I have typed BC Ade. Maybe that's the person's name, and the name is correct. I can just click on this. You can see the mark. It will definitely commit it. So learn to use some of these things. You understand? If you are done typing, you can click on your tab. It will definitely shift it further. Or you can use your arrow key to move up and down depending on what you are doing. So let's continue. Continuation. Yeah. So that's that. To delete cell, I've already practicalized this. You can select the one you want to delete. You can choose delete command on the toolbar. You can choose it beside the formula bar is there. So to copy and to paste. So now, to copy and to paste content, select the cell you wish to copy. You can copy. You can use your shortcut key like Control C and use Control V to paste. So let's go and try something right now. Oh, coming. Now, I want to copy this. I've already selected it by clicking it. You can choose Control C. Now, notice something that looks like matching ants. Now, it shows that cell has already been either copied from or cut from. So you can move on to another place and paste it. Click on Ctrl V and paste it. Or look at other shortcuts you can see on the screen. You see cut here, you see copy here, you see paste here. I can decide to paste it, it automatically paste here. And if I don't want it, I can just delete the content of that cell that I've copied. So that is that. Let's continue further from it. You can continue now. Cell basic to cut and paste. In the right hand side, you see something that looks like scissors. That is icon for cut. And that thing look like a file. That is icon for paste. So you can select the cell you wish to cut from. Click cut command. The border of the cell will change appearance. Select where you want to paste, then you paste it there. Click on paste command. You can right click to access more content. Now let's go back and try it. Now I want to copy, I want to cut from here. I can start to look at this clipboard. Click cut. You can see that the appearance at the border has changed. You can maybe come down to another place and paste. You can paste it here. You can see that the content has actually moved totally from there. You can copy and paste. If you copy, the difference is copy and paste that when you copy, the value remains where it is and you have is duplicated. But when you cut, it moves it totally to a different destination. Totally. So that is, and you can also undo. If I want to undo, I just press my Ctrl Z. Some of you already know that. So that is it. Let's go back to our so going back, modifying rows, column rows, and cells to modify. Now notice two things here. Look at this: white cross, double arrow. Notice it. So position your mouse over the column line in the column heading so that the white cross change and becomes double arrow. Click and drag the column to the right to increase the column width to the left, to decrease the width. You can also do it to change the height. Now let's quickly practicalize that. Now look at this. See my cursor is showing as white cross, and I want to change this date of birth. You can see if I shift it to the edge, it has changed to double arrow. So you can decide to now adjust it. Hold down your mouse, then you drag it, automatically change the width. If you want to do same for height, you bring that same white cross to the edge, it will change to double cross. Now notice how the double arrow has changed. It means up or down. Hold down your mouse and drag it, it automatically change. So that is that. Let's continue. So modifying, you can also use set column with a specific measurement. What do you do there? You want to put a particular measurement. Maybe you want to have a uniform measurement per each week, and you don't want to be adjusting and adjusting. What do? You set specific measurement. Now what do you do? Select the column you want to modify, click the format command. On the home tab, the format drop down menu appears. The column width dialog box appear. Enter a specific measurement, click OK. The width of each selected will change. Now let's try that. Let's try that. Now this is we want the cells to change. Now look at something. If you click here, if you hold down your mouse, you will find out that there is a measurement for it. This one is showing 8.43 in width and 64 pixels. 54 pixels. So if you need to change the row width, sorry, let's go back to our instruction. Now on the home tab, you click on format command. Mine seems not to be showing format command here, so let me search for my format command here. Don't forget, like as I said earlier, this thing was done it was done with older version. I only modify. So now in my home tab, I'm searching for my format command. Format command. Let me search for if I can find it here. I don't seem to find format command here. But notwithstanding that, if you have older version, you will see it. Let's search through our menu bar. If you can find formats, there, you send it. I'm still searching. Okay, I have seen it here. Now this is format. Now look at it. This one has given me dialog. Look at the column width, the row height. Now let's select multiple width and let's give them a particular measurement. Now let's choose 15 for each. Now come here, the column width, let's set 15.7. Now you notice that all the width, the column that I selected earlier, they've all changed to the same size. You can do this rather than doing one by one. You can just highlight together and change their width. Now let's do same thing for the height. Notice that the height of this one is 20 pixels. Let's change it to 20 each. I have selected from so let's go back to that same thing, format. Let's change the height to from 15. We are changing it to 20. You see something? Notice that all of them, the height has changed to 20 pixels. I say 20, 26 pixels. So that is that. So let's continue. When you are done, you click OK, which I've done already. Now, modifying row. Now, repeat this process for row height. I've already done that. Now, that's what we call AutoFit. AutoFit is used. That is, if you have a row that maybe whatever you have typed is not showing, just go to the edge of it and double click on the edge. It will automatically AutoFit. Now, let's go back. Let's say I want to let me look for a name that is long. Okay, let me put my name, Marvelous Damilare. Now, notice that. Okay, let me adjust the. Notice that if I type date of birth, 28th of September. That's my birthday. So now notice that what I put here is not showing. But if I click on the file, you will see that it shows my full name. Now you want this to appear and you don't want to drag. What do you do? Just bring your cursor to the edge and double click on it. That is what we call AutoFit. You notice what happened now? That is AutoFit. So if you have data that is lengthy, you don't need to start dragging. Just go to the edge, double click it. Now let me practicalize it further. Let's say number 2. We have another name. Let me look for a name that is triple. Let me for Adebayo. Sorry if you are bearing Adebayo. Sorry, I'm just using as an example. Adebayo Salami. Adeola Oluwatobi. Let's now look at this. Okay, let me put another name. Margaret Bisola. Now notice that each line is having different length of value. Now the purpose of AutoFit is to pick the longest. Now if I come here and I double click, you see that it automatically covers the longest on that line. So that is AutoFit. So let's go back. Repeat what we modify to insert rows and column. Now you are doing something and you discover that there's something you need to include. What do? You can insert a row, a column, or a cell. So let's go back. Let's say you want to include another column here that talks about address. What do? Just come to the column heading, right click and click on insert. Automatically it shifts what is there. Maybe let's put address here. Address. So let's say number 20 Tafa Balewa Street. Tafa Balewa Street. So I have included, and if I want to delete, maybe I'm done, I'm not okay with it and I want to delete, I just right click on that edge and delete. But now that is from the column heading or from the row. What of if I want to just that particular distance to move? Just click on it, right click on it, click on insert. You will see a dialog box to shift it right, left, or to shift it right, to shift it down, or the entire row or the entire column. It will ask you that question. If I want to shift right, just click on OK. It automatically goes right. So that's it. Don't worry, you will get the manual after the class, then you can read on your own, practice. And I'm also creating a video file for this to be posted on YouTube. You can watch it at any time of your choice. And I'm also thinking I will ask after the class, you're going to tell me what's the best approach, that to give it a lengthy the whole video at once, or we should break it down to topics. So let's look at that. Modifying the same way you did for inserting, you can also do the same for deleting. So there's no need to waste time there. Wrapping of text and also margin of cells. How do you wrap text? Who can tell me the meaning of wrap text? Can somebody just turn on your microphone and answer me before we proceed? Wrapping of text. What does it mean? Let somebody turn on the mic and give a response. I'm listening. Oh yeah, somebody should talk. Hello, I know we are many on this group, so somebody should please give me the response. What do you mean? What do you understand by wrapping of text? Okay, nobody is responding. Let us proceed. Now, wrapping of text helps to display multiple lines on a cell. Okay, maybe because you are seeing it on the screen, nobody wants to answer. I want you to use your own words. Anyway, no problem. So wrapping of text, it simply means a text is longer and you want everything to show on the table. You can break it down for everything to appear in a particular cell. Now let's practicalize. So to wrap text, select the cell you want text to wrap. Select wrap text command on the menu bar or home tab. The text in the cell will be wrapped in your workbook worksheet. If you change your mind, re-click and the wrap text command unwrap. So let's go and try it. Now, let's say here, I have date of birth. You can see that date of birth is not showing. It's only date that is showing. But I want everything to show. What do? I come here, look at in alignment, just click on wrap text. Click on it. Okay, sorry. I've clicked it again, wrap text. You can see that everything has shown. That's how to wrap text. So, let's continue. Now, merge cells. You can merge two or more cells together. Hey. You can match more cells together to be able to accommodate what you are asking. Now, let's try it. What do? Select the cell you want to merge together. Select the merge and center command on the menu. The selected cell will be merged and the text will be centered. If you want to change your mind, click. Now you can merge across, you can unmerge. Now let's try it. Let's say here I want to add heading. I can just insert. So it has shifted down. So I want all these places to merge together. I have selected it. You can just click on merge center. If you click on the arrow beside it, you will see merge across, merge cell, unmerge. If I click on merge, everything unmerge. And if I click on merge center, so let's say student data. I want to set as student data. That is what we want to take. So we have merge across, everything stays there. So that's how to match. Going back, let's continue. To merge, to access more. Okay, I've already shown you merge center, merge across, merge and unmerge. Any cell you don't want, you can unmerge it. It will definitely automatically unmerge for you. Formatting cells. There are many tools you can use to format text, cell and cell, such as how to change your color of a text, and cell, align text, apply special formatting, number and date. Look at the arrow. That's alignment. Let's go and try it. Now, let's assume, okay, I've clicked here now. Look at it. Okay. So, alignment, you can make turn your, how do I call it now? You can make it to bend by 45-degree angle, vertical. You can always make it there. You can also format the cell further. Now, as I've clicked this, now you see what I'm seeing here right now. Numbers. These are formatting attributes you can give to while you work. Don't worry, when we get there, we will learn more about it. We'll be able to use it. Alignment, how you want your data to appear. You want it to appear in 45-degree. You want it how you want it. Everything is going to be done for you. Fonts, you want color, you can choose color from here, any color you wish. The font size, the font style, even if you want strike through, subscripts, superscripts, and many of it can be done like that. The border, you want to fill protection, you want to protect yourself. You don't want anybody to be able to change what you have done. But the danger of it is that the day you forget your password, that's voila. So that's it. So all these things too can be found on the home tab. So you can see them on the home tab. You can also do more with it. That is that. So let's continue. So just as I showed you earlier, you can do this. When we get there, we'll be able to use them properly. Now, formatting, we can format as percentage, as currency. Now let me quickly do something now. Now, let's try one simple trick. Now, if you notice here that if you enter phone number 0808 33 sorry 3377692, you find out that it automatically remove that zero in front. How do you put the zero back? What do you do? You format that particular cell as a text. Oh, let's come back. Let's say you want everything to format it as text. Right click, click on format cells. What we did earlier has just showed up. What do we do? Go to number, click format as text. So now notice their direction. It has gone back a bit to the left hand side. So what do we do? Put your zero back in front. Notice that you already add your phone number. I know a lot of people put +234. You don't need to do that. You already have your phone number. So if you want to add another phone number, maybe 090345231, something like that. So you find out that it stays. But if I did not format it, it will remove the zero in front, or you put +234. You can format multiple. Now, if you want to format, you can format date, you can format currency. Let's say amount 20,000. Now, look at, if you put 20,000 now, let's format as currency. You can easily come here and click on this. It will turn it to, okay, sorry. You can click on this, or right click, select formatting attributes, and select as currency. Now, currency here, you can choose dollar. Let's do for naira. You can put NGN, and let's search for naira and put our currency naira there. I'm still searching for naira. So I've seen naira. So you can see it choose Edo, Fulani, Igbo, whatever. So let's choose any of them, as long as everything is naira. So you can see decimal place to 2. So click on it. You see 200,000 naira. So that's how to format as currency. Any currency in the world can be formatted as. You can put it to the decimal places of your choice. So let's go back. So a recap of this, what we've learned so far: cell basics, inserting, deleting, modifying, adding, and deleting of content of a particular cell. So I know this session is about to end. I'm going to give us another 30 minutes because of the time that have been wasted. But because of what so any question? This is a challenge. I'm going to send it to you. You're going to work this out and submit by tomorrow. So this is a challenge before we proceed to the next next class, next lesson. So any question from anybody?